You know, I was watching a Joe Rogan clip while I was on the elliptical yesterday. Love Joe.
Are we supposed to care where this lunatic watches his stuff? I sure don't.
And he had that Sarkon of Akkad guy on, who's very entertaining and funny.
Did he say Sarkod? No.
But they were sitting up there looking at each topic I cover and then misrepresenting it. I mean, and I don't say that meanly. It's just that's what was happening.
I love how it's misrepresenting what he says when they show the clips of him saying that, and then they critique him on what he said. So no, it's not misrepresenting what he said.
I mean, mainly the Sarkod guy was. Joe's a good friend. And you're like, well, Alex is actually right. There's one species of frog that has been turned trans and gay, and most of them are infertile, by one chemical. Yeah, it's benzene.
Actually, Alex, to quote your friend Donald, wrong. According to Newsweek, male frogs may be turning female thanks to estrogen in suburban waste. Not one species, not all of them, you lunatic, in suburban lakes. A surprising study has found that frogs in suburban lakes tend to be mostly female, and suggests that urbanization and estrogenic wastes are likely turning male frogs female, not gay. In a study published September 7th in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, researchers sampled hundreds of young frogs from 21 ponds in Connecticut, which were all geographically close but varied widely in terms of how developed their immediate surroundings were. The scientists, led by Yale University researcher David Skelly and doctoral student Max Lambert, were surprised to find that the extent of development was strongly linked to the proportion of females. Ponds in forests contained lower proportions of females, whereas males were in the minority in some areas of the burbs. Previous work by Skelly's group found a large percentage of female characteristics in male frogs in these same bodies of water. All 34 ponds examined by Skelly and team turned up males whose testicles also contain eggs. The development of such quote-unquote intersex or hermaphroditic traits have been linked to endocrine-disrupting chemicals like the herbicide atrazine, not the one you just said. But much of the work in this area has focused on agricultural chemicals. This is one of the first studies to suggest that estrogenic waste from suburban homes and yards are directly affecting frogs, and perhaps other animals, Skelly says. This is literally bringing it into our backyards. Lambert says that they were surprised to find that estrogenic chemicals from plants may be playing a major part compared with forest ponds. He found large quantities of... I'm done. Yeah, forget that. But as you can see, Alex, wrong. It's not one species. It's not all species all over the world. It is in suburban lakes in Connecticut.
But, you know, then he projects it onto everything, and you know, this is happening. No, sir, there's more than 1,000 known chemicals that are estrogen mimickers alone in one class.
Care to provide us a list of those chemicals or a source for your claim?
And it's every major mammal species, every major fish species, every major amphibian species, everywhere in the world, even the most remote areas, is becoming trans, or is asexual, or is totally confused, or sterile, or literally have sexual organs growing on the wrong parts of their body and are mutated and deformed, okay?
That's hysterical. But I have one thing to say about that.
Citation needed.
Praise the Lord.
Now, I've literally read white paper documents on this for 22 years.
Okay, so that's like me saying I've read white documents on you, Alex Jones, being a pedophile for the last 22 years. You see how I can't back it up? That's what you're doing. You can't back it up unless you provide evidence.
So, I'm an expert.
Perusing papers for, quote, 22 years doesn't make you an expert. A PhD makes you an expert.
But see, in a minute, because someone has a British accent or whatever it becomes a big joke, you see.
No, it's a big joke because you are a paranoid lunatic.
I want to get the Sarkon guy on. I think he's entertaining. I think he's a smart guy. But I'm going to go through clips of where he says stuff, and then I'm going to sit here and go, okay, I'm going to come in here with 500 science reports. I'm not kidding. I'm going to print 500 just to be aggressive. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read him 500 going back 20 years.
I would love to see 500 reputable, peer-reviewed reports saying that. Remember, you said 500, not 499, 500. So you come in with anything less than 500, you have lost.
In fact, I just told them from memory one I said I thought was about a decade ago about shrimp becoming suicidal and psychotic when Prozac runoff just out of the Mississippi River, and it's causing most of the shrimp to basically swim to the top of the birds and get eaten and die. And they're also attacking each other.
Okay, yeah, I really want to see that report.
Now, this is an article from 2010. This is an older one. But there's even older ones that go back to about 2001 when Fox News reported on it. See, I mean, most of this is just mainline news. Shrimp on Prozac are killing themselves. See? It's every species. Fish.
Now, hold on. Before you go on to anything else, go back to the final paragraph of that report that you just read from Salon. But Ford also shared another fascinating thing. He was inspired to do this study because of previous work on parasites that control serotonin levels in their host shrimp. These parasites have evolved to do this as they require to be in their final host, fish, birds, or marine mammals, depending on parasite species, to reproduce and complete their life cycles. Therefore, they increase the chances of the shrimp being eaten by making them swim out in the open. Okay, so the world's a less freaky knowing that shrimp don't get happy, sad, or suicidal. See, you're wrong. Shrimp don't get suicidal. They just swim out in the open. So, stop cherry picking, Alex. I know it's what you do, but stop it.
This is how, this is the anatomy of disinformation.
Disinformation? You mean like Pizzagate?